Okay, hello everyone. In this lesson, I will explain how to set up our environment for data science work, right? So Python, VS Code, and other tools, and why I choose to use local environment. I will also explain because like it has like several benefits compared to approaches like using Google Colab or some other approaches. So, and I will show them. Okay, so for our course, you need to install VS Code. You can also use PyCharm or DataSpell, but you may miss some features from VS Code, right? Of course, they have their own features, but I also have used them for a long time. But VS Code looks the best because it has really helpful features. Also, it's very lightweight, and it has more videos in YouTube, right? Like I don't know, maybe 80% of YouTube videos are written using VS Code, right? So okay, so you need to just type VS Code download and download from here VS Code. Okay, so and after after download has started, you can for if you have Windows like 11 or 10, you need to install WSL. WSL stands for Windows Subsystem for Linux, and it's necessary to run Python code because it's very difficult to run Python code on pure Windows. Okay, so just install WSL. So it's similar running Python code on Ubuntu, for example. If you have Ubuntu, then no problem. Okay, but if you have Windows, you need to install this WSL tool. Okay, in the second version. Basically, it's very easy. So you just need to go over this video. It's very well explained in this video, so there should be no problems. Okay, so to jest ma video просто kończone. Okay, and in the second thing you need to install is to enable VS Code in WSL, which is also very easy. So just go over this video and you should have working VS Code that uses WSL. Okay, and okay, so this is for Windows users, but for Ubuntu, for like other Linux, like Red Hat, something else, and for Mac users, we don't have any of those problems. So you just need to copy, download this VS Code, and that's all. Okay, so after I will show it. Also, there is a good video from this guy in YouTube, but it has some extra setups for our course, so you can watch them if you want. But I will also try to cover the useful parts of from this video. Okay, as soon as you have a basic understanding of VS Code and the Python or other things, you can watch any of such videos, right? For example, my approach when I learn something new, I watch, for example, at least 5 videos about that. Okay, no, not at least, maybe like try to watch more videos, right? So and it gives me a opportunity to avoid some common pitfalls, to avoid missing some very important like I don't know opportunities, right? То есть бірдеңені білмей қалу ықтималын айтады да, бір новый бірдеңе зат үйренген кезде осындай бірнеше видеолар қарап алсаңдар, ресерч жасап алсаңдар кішкене, көп анандай подводный каменьдерға жолықпайсыңдар. Окей, сразу бастап кетпей да. Иногда сразу бастап кететін кездер болады, но когда это өздерің кішкене біліп тұрасыңдар да, иногда сразу бастап кетіп артынан кішкене ресерч жасаса болады, сондай аппрочтар бар да. Ну иногда просто видео қарап алып потом барып бастаса болады, но көп қарамау керек да, то есть 2-3 видео, 5 видео это вообще жетеді прям артынан. Okay, but for this lesson you don't need. Okay, so то есть көрмесеңде де болады. Okay. Okay, so these two but are necessary for Windows. Okay, so Windows болса осыны артығандар. I forgot to say why I like learning Python. Python is like very important. I noticed that most of students are from like mathematical and the data science, statistics, right? So, and the information systems also. And Python is really useful for such lessons, like for such directions, or I would say specialties, right? And I will like try to show the benefits of Python using VS Code and other tools, Jupyter notebooks, and so on and so forth. Okay. So after you have installed VS Code and launched it, you should see such window in like so they should be clear in like Mac, right? So in Windows and in WSL and in Linux, in Ubuntu the same, almost the same. Okay. So when you type Control escape астына кнопканы, то есть button under the escape, you should see such terminal window, right? So control and this button under the escape. Okay. If you don't know, you can just here terminal, like new terminal, right? So it will open new terminal. So let's close it. Terminal, new terminal. Okay. And here, so let's try to run some basic Python code. Okay, so let's try to open some folder. Basically, in VS Code you can open folders, right? So for example, say what okay, let's create some folder here. So ls, this is my root folder. So let's go to like cd projects, right? Let's create folder SDU, right? So to save SDU related projects, and let's inside this folder create like folder practice 0, let's say. Okay, so and let's go to that folder. After that you can just type code точка, okay, so code dot, and it will open VS Code in here. But if you haven't added VS Code to the path, for example in Windows, right, during installation it won't work, so you need to add VS Code executable to pass. Okay, so just Google it and it should be enough. Okay, but if you don't know such, if it doesn't work, so you can just open folder, type open folder, and from here you can select like SDU, right? So what is SDU? Okay, maybe projects. So SDU. So you need to find, right? So you need to find, spend lots of time, practice 0, and then open. Okay. So now I will just type code dot, okay, which means open VS Code in this folder. Okay. Okay, so let's close this one, and after that we will have this window. Okay, and here let's create some Python file. Let's open terminal again, and we can run that Python file using Python main.py. But in some cases Python won't work, because now this is common like approach, right, using Python 3. Okay, and if you type this one, it will just run this Python code. So many of them should have no problems with this one, and the interesting things starts now. Okay, енді басталады қызық жері. Осы кезге дейін любой адам оны істей алу керек, өйткені Python курс болды да, то есть. But the difference is that we have opened this Python file in VS Code, то есть. And it has really cool features. VS Code has really cool features, and I will show them. Okay, so okay, let's type something here, print hello, and let's run it again. So it should work. Okay, hello. Now it works, and now let's get familiar with thing called environment. Environment деген затпен танысайық та. Why we need environment? Let's say you have more projects, right? So for example, I have such number of projects, right? Also I have other projects in other places, and every of this project has its own, for example, Python files, right? And of course Python files depend from some libraries, right? So for example, import pandas, right? Pandas is the name of library, as PD. So this is library, okay, and these libraries have its versions. То есть әрбір библиотеканың, әрбір проекттің библиотекасы бар, әрбір библиотеканың версиялары бар, да. If you type something like pandas versions, it will show like release notes, like, and all of these versions. So how many versions? Қаншама версиясы бар пандастың да. And when you have many projects, it will be problem to manage those versions. Сенде қанша проект көп болса, кейбір проекттер бар, которые мынаның ескі версиясын қолданады, а кейбір проекттер бар, которые новый версиясын қолданады. Some of them will use old version and some of them will use new versions, right? And to avoid such version conflicts while switching between these projects, the environment was created, right? Environments were created. Environment деген зат ойлап тапқан да, не үшін? Өйткені, чтобы әр проектінің өзінің бөлек environment болсын да. Возможно, общий environment тоже болады. Екі проектте общий environment болуы мүмкін, проблема емес та. То есть environment деген зат ойлап тапқан, и әрбір environmentта әр библиотеканың әртүрлі версиясы болуы мүмкін. So each environment can have their own libraries with different versions, okay? So let's create some environment. So basic way to create, and a very, I think, very like intuitive way to create environment is using something called VNV tool, which is by default installed in Python version 12, okay? Or 3.12. It should be installed. I think even in like 3.9 it's installed. So Python VNV minus okay, I forgot because I use other way. Python create VNV. Let's see syntaxes. Okay, it should be very easy. Okay, Python 3 minus m. I forgot minus m. VNV. So VNV like name of program, and usually it's like common common convention to use such name .vnv. Okay, so for environment name you can use any name, but usually it's common to use such name or just VNV. Okay, but I will use .vnv because it won't be visible when you open it through for example in Windows through Explorer, like проводник, and here through Finder. Okay, let's create. It will create some folder here. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, I created in projects folder, so it's wrong. So I just need to remove it. TMB. Okay, now I need to again join. So if you like somewhere else, you can just close it and open it again, like delete it and open it again. So you will be in this folder. Okay, and here just type Python 3 minus m vnv.vnv. Okay, it will create folder called vnv, which has bin, include, and other things, right? So if you notice, these things include all these libraries that we will install in this environment. Okay, environmentқа біз орнатқан библиотекалар осы фолдердің ішінде жатады екен. So very intuitive. Okay, we have also other ways to manage environments. They are like conda, like if you see something anaconda деген заттар көрсеңдер, это то же самое мынандай environmentті жасау. Okay, то есть но олар более кішкене сложныйлар, ну өзінің бенефиттері бар. Но пока осы жетеді бізге. Пока VNV жетеді, и это более ең интуитивный жолы осы. Мен өзім конда қолданатын едім, но мынау да өте жақсы жол екен. Okay, so okay, but let's okay, let's activate this environment. То есть мына environment'та активация жасауға болады. To do such thing, you just need to like type source and source dot, like you need to specify this folder. After that you need to specify bin and activate. So basically it will run this script. We have here a script activate, right? This one. Basically it will run this script which activates our environment. Okay, now we have such prefix, which means that we are now in this environment. If we type here Python 3, like Python version, right, it should show maybe different version, maybe the same version, which means this environment has also has this version. Okay, but if you, for example, install some dependency here, like pip install pandas, right, it will install this dependency only in this environment. That is my environment. Let's see here. So let's see pip show. So pip basically dependency manager. То есть pip деген затты қолданып біз библиотекаларымызды орната алады екенбіз да. То есть pip show pandas, pip command not found. Okay, pip3 maybe. Okay, let's try pip3. Okay, not found pandas. Pandas орнатылмаған дейді да. Now let's type same command here. Here pip works, right? So because VNV was constructed in such way, right? So here it shows like I type pip install. I just need pip show. Okay, here it shows that it has pandas installed and its version is this one. Okay, 2.2.2. okay, but here we don't have. Why? Because here we are using the default environment of macOS. То есть на жерде по умолчанию environment қолданып жатырмық, but here we are using this local environment, right? And whichever libraries we install, it will be installed in this local environment if you activated that environment. Okay, but you may ask why this is like this is not working, right? So when you just create such Python file, андай pop-up шығып кетеді, install extension. So for now I have disabled all extensions, so сендермен бірдей болу үшін чтобы. So you just need to install. So just install all of these extensions. They are very useful, all of them. So but you may not have access to GitHub Copilot, so you can avoid it. So but for all of other extensions, just install it. Okay, install them. So these Pythons, let's enable this one. Like again, enable back, right? And okay, let's enable Jupyter. Okay, Jupyter. Okay, that's enough, I think. Okay, so now we have syntax highlighting and it is working. Okay, it's working. And if we type Python 3 main.py, it won't work. Why? Because it says no module named pandas, because we haven't installed pandas, right? This is a very common issue. When you see something called no module named, it means you are either on wrong environment or you haven't installed that library. Okay, and if you type Python main.py here, it will run successfully. Why? Because we are using this INV1 environment, which already has this pandas library installed in it, right? Actually, it's taking some time, surprisingly. Okay, let's type enter. Okay, maybe it's somehow loading the library. Okay, not. Okay, yeah, it seems that it was loading. Oh, let's type it again. So it should be now fast. So it does some kind of like compiling stuff under the hood. I don't know. So that's why it takes slightly longer, right? At first time. So біріншіде көп уақыт алған, может компиляция жасады да где-то. Okay, so this is very important thing. So өте жақсы зат негізі, very useful thing. То есть проекттерге бөлек environment қолдану, да? То есть this environment can be like common for several projects. То есть әртүрлі проекттерге де бірдей болуы мүмкін. Допустим, осы environment'ты басқа проекттен қолданғыларың келсе, просто соның shell'ында соны активация жасау керек болады. Okay, but there are also other tools. Now let's try to run using this button, okay, which is like kind of intuitive, and it will run. Okay, let's close all of them. It will run because why? Because here VNV environment is automatically selected. If you here select some, like for example default environment for macOS, which is this one, I think, yeah, global, right? It won't run. Okay, it won't work because it doesn't see pandas. But as soon as you create VNV environment, it will automatically select it. But if it hasn't selected, just select it. Okay, то есть белгілей тұрса осы жерден environment таңдасаңдар болады. If you notice, you can see that I have more environments, right? Бәлембай environment бар да менде. Мынаны таңдасаңдар өзіміздің VNV таңдайды да, получается. Okay, let's run it. Okay, now it's good. Okay, то есть былай да run жасай алдық. Okay, now let's open our homework. Okay, so GitHub. That is you, maybe not GitHub. GitHub. Okay, let's syllabus. Syllabus here. You should have access to this syllabus, so just open assignment 1, click on this button, and you should see like, okay, we need to join, right? So use your official use due emails here, so I can then get like you can install passkey. If you have Mac, you can just install this Touch ID sync to quickly sign in, right? And okay, so I'm teacher. That's why I'm seeing such like screen. So if you are not teacher, you should see something like that. Okay, accept this assignment, and when you click accept this assignment, it will create GitHub repository on your account. Okay, and you should have link to it, such link. After you can clone this repository or open. Okay, біз оны клон жасауға болады или ашуға болады. Okay, то есть and okay, this branch is ahead of main the way түсінбедім. Now I think this is Spring thing, right? NLP Spring ahead of main the. Okay, let's ignore this thing because we have fix here. I have fixed some wrong code. It should work basically. Okay. After you have this thing, you can watch. You can like read this assignment, something like that. And but if you don't know Python, very important. If you don't know like Python or know like not good, right? So күшті болмаса Python нелерің, you can just watch these IPMB files. Like you can just learn these IPMB files. Okay, and for that, so here it has also installation steps, environment setups. It uses Conda, but I recommend just ignore them. Okay, so just go over these tutorials. The first one is about Python, and the second one is about Jupyter. Okay, Jupyter. But for now, I will just ignore them. I will be focused on this stuff. Okay, and if you have watched lectures that I have sent, you can easily complete this or not this one. Okay, no, I'm wrong. Sorry. Oh, this one. So regular expression tutorial. Okay, just quickly recap. Okay, but let's clone this. So let's clone using HTTPS. Better to set up SSH. So just type setup SSH for GitHub. Okay, and it has very good instructions to set up it. YouTube video may be some useful. Okay, but I have already set it up, so I can just use this SSH sync. Okay, but if you use HTTPS, you may have problems while pushing your code here to here. Okay, so better to use SSH. Set up it and use SSH. Okay, so I can just type. Okay, let's go back and let's type here git clone this one, and it will clone that repository to this folder, to SDU folder. After that, I can join, I can move to that repository. Okay, and I can type code dot to open it. Okay, now let's close this one. And here we have our repository, our copy of repository locally. То есть біздің репозиторимыз енді қазір локальный бар да компьютерімізде. Okay. If you want to see how it looks like, you can just type open dot. It will show Finder and it will show like in regular проводник деген сияқты көрсе болады. Okay. So okay, let's continue. So we have cloned our repository here, and what we need to do is like what we can do, we can open this terminal, right? So we can type control and this like the button under tab, and it will open terminal. Or you can just go here and click this new terminal. Also it has like shortcut here, right? So okay, so but turns out we need to create environment for this project to better manage it, right? So бүкіл homeworktардың әрқайсының бір общий environment болған жақсы да. И so environment жасау үшін, so we can let's use conda, right? So I have talked about VNV in previous video. So and but after thinking, I decided to use conda because it can be easily shared between multiple assignments. То есть VNV более интуитивно болса, conda негізі ондай емес, бірақ ондай емес болғанның себебінен оны бірнеше проекттің шер жасау оңай да. То есть бірнеше проектте бір environmentты қолдану оңай. Ну так как бізде homeworktар көп болады, соның бәрінде бір environment жасап соны қолданатын боламыз. So to create conda environment, we can open this P0 like assignment from Stanford, and here you can find instructions for different platforms. For example, for macOS. So okay, let's open this repository from VS Code. To do so, we can just go up and clone our repo to here, and after we can go inside, right? And we can open it also from VS Code, and here we can view those instructions in beautiful format. So like to install, you need to go to this site. I have already installed it, but I don't have mini conda. I have something called mini forge. So basically they are almost the same, but mini forge uses different channel to pull dependencies. То есть библиотекаларды алуға mini forge басқа канал қолданады, но mini conda официальный каналдар қолданады. So no difference, so you can easily switch to forge channel inside mini conda as well. So no, there should be no problems. So after you have downloaded it, you just need to run script to execute these files like bash file. So if you download a package, you just need to install it in macOS. Like in Linux, you can just again execute that file. Also there is instructions for Linux. So after you have installed, for example, for Windows, you need to install WSL, as I said, and after you have installed WSL, the instructions for Linux and Windows are almost the same, right? Because they both use Linux. And in Linux, you can just type this command to download this sh file, executable file. After you can also, this is for download, this is for execution of the downloaded file, and that should be easy, okay? After you have installed, you can validate by typing this command in terminal. So and by seeing the installed conda version. So I have this version, but again this is mini forge, not mini conda, right? So it can be different on your laptop. After you have installed conda, what you can do, you can create environment. And it turns out this like Stanford University already have prepared environment configuration with some default values, right? But it doesn't work actually. So let's see. Okay, let's try to create environment by using this configuration. Basically what it says that we need to install Python version 3.8 and these libraries with proper versions, right? But it doesn't work. Why? Because these versions are unavailable from current channel, okay? From this channel, like channel is here default, which is Anaconda, right? То есть бұнда канал деген зат бар, channel, ол ішінде библиотекаларды сақтап тұрады да. И по умолчанию conda канал қолданылады, ол conda да библиотекалар болмауы мүмкін. And we can add additional channels here, то есть басқа канал қосуға болады да, and try again, да, то есть может мына каналдан табылып қалады ол библиотекалар, да, то есть бағана айтқаным сол, мен mini forge қолданамын деген, получается in mini forge this channel is by default, да, то есть but it turns out these libraries are pretty like old versions, and maybe they are now not supported by these channels, or maybe my laptop, which is Mac M1, are newer, and these libraries cannot be run on M1 laptops. So any problems, right, can be. But there are ways to solve this problem. The first one is to just deleting these versions. So let's try. So matplotlib. So we have conflicting libraries, right? This is conflicting. No, it doesn't exist even. This is also doesn't exist, and we have here some conflicting library. What means conflicting? These libraries can be conflict with each other. Why? Because, for example, this NumPy library can require Python version of 3.9, but this library can require version of 3.10, right? So, hence there is a conflict, right? To resolve such conflicts, what we can do, we can just release version in conflicting libraries. For example, GNSIM, matplotlib, skykit, learn, we just remove version, okay? And when we remove the specified versions, it what Conda does, Conda automatically tries to find best combinations that work for all library. Okay? Conda не істейді, алады да мыналардың ішінен версиялардың өзі қарап, бүкіл комбинацияларды табады да, который бәріне жұмыс істейтін, и ол старается решить, да, типа, ну вот он нашел, вот, допустим, он сейчас использует GNSIM вот такой версии, SciPy такой версию, Python вот такую версию, да, типа, и так далее, типа. Кстати, вот Python тоже можно было удалить на самом деле, но я не удалил, да? Окей, ладно, пусть будет так. Там, получается, конфликт был, наверное, с NumPy там, или с другой библиотекой. Так как мы тут убрали версию, этот конфликт решился, да, то есть. So it's installing, and basically in Conda, it, for example, in VNV, it opens some directory here, right? And it installs all libraries inside that directory. But in Conda, it's slightly non-intuitive, but basically Conda also opens some directory, but in other place, right? So let's see. So after we have created our environment with this configuration, we can activate it, so that we can use it from our terminal. Also, we can specify that environment from, for example, from these Jupyter notebooks, right? So let's find them. So this one, right? And when we specify it, this notebook will run in this 124 деген environment, да, subscribe етіледі, да, то есть. And all libraries installed into this environment will be available here. Да, то есть бәрі өйткені бір environment қолданып жатыр. Okay? Okay, let's try to if you are new to the Jupyter, you can watch, like you can read this tutorial and run all cells, like markdown cells, code cells. You can read this tutorial. Okay, and same for Python. So at this point, we have finished preparing our environment, so we can close this window. And here in our task 1, right, right, so we can use that environment. That is, currently it's using this environment, but if we just drop it, we can close it, and if we open it again, it will use the same line. Okay. Oh, okay. Actually, you may see some environment here, like base environment, or you may not see it, but it's not a problem. Okay, we can just activate our environment here right away. Okay, so now our environment is activated in this terminal, and we can do the same thing for this Python file, right? So we can just select from here our environment for home tasks. Okay, so if you notice, it says that this pandas library is not installed in this environment. That's why it's arguing, right? So if we try to launch this Python file, it says no module named pandas because it's not installed. Okay, and what we can do, we can install that library, right? So we can just type pip install pandas. Turns out, when we have activated this environment, whenever we type pip install commands, it will install that library in this environment, right? And if you're curious where it has been installed, you can just type which, like, let's try this one. Like, I think it may not work. Okay, it not works, but you can type just which Python type, and in that case it will show the path to the our Python command that is that in this environment, right? То есть conda environmenттың ішіндегі Pythonға path береді екен. And from this path we can view any libraries in this environment. There is also some command, you can just Google it, but we can use this thing also. Okay, so these are all libraries that we have installed. Okay, so let's try to run this again, and it should be now successful. Okay, so it's taking slightly more time initially because at the first time it, as I understood, it tries to compile. That's why it takes some time. But in the second time it should be pretty fast. Okay, it's fast. Okay, and now our code is running. То есть түсіндіңдер, environment деген, получается, бір жерде сақталып тұрған библиотекалар, которые можно применить на проекты, да, то есть можно использовать общий environment, можно для каждого проекта создать свой environment, можно создать его с помощью конды, можно создать его с помощью VNV, да, то есть. Now let's try to understand our task. To do so, there is readme file, you can just read it in beautiful format again. So and for example, in task A, it code includes to do, don't change sections, and in task A, your task is to read names from this file by using this pandas library, but all code is written for you. То есть мына кодтарға даже тиісіп керек емес, бұлар сендер үшін жазылып қойған кодтар, бірақ сендерге үйрену керек. So you need to learn, right, how it works, better to learn, because pandas is required in almost all companies for data scientists, right? So and it's very useful for you as well. Like математик болсаңдар да не болсаңдар да өте пайдалы библиотека. So what it does, basically, what it reads this CSV file from this path, right? And you can view it actually here. So also you can install some like plugins to view CSV files like easily, but this is enough for me, right? No, I opened the wrong directory, so I need to use this one. Yeah, okay. So то есть data state grants, то есть мынау жойылып кетіп жатқан себебі, мына 2 рет бассаңдар мына pin болады. So in order to pin currently opened file, you can just double click it, so, and it won't be switched when you switch between files. Okay, so here we have just list of names, right? List of student names maybe, and what we did here is just we just read it and we assign it column name called name, да? So то есть column бердік, который name деп аталатын оған, and we are just calling this function, and this function is adding some column called gender, and with default value u, да, то есть gender деген column қосты, сөйтіп қайтарып берді бізге, and here we just saved that modified our data frame, this is called data frame, to the CSV file with no index. So, index деген ана 1 2 3 деп rowға индекс қоюды айтады. And the result is following. То есть name, gender деген 2 колумн бар, и қалған бәрі value'лар. Okay? И бәрі u means unknown. So and your job is to complete this code, like to complete this code by using the regex. So I will show some basic example, like df. Basically what we can do, we can use function called lock. Lock as the first argument, it receives some matcher, right? So in the first argument we can specify matcher. So what we can do, we can take that name column and check it to match some regex, right? For regex we can use such symbol R, right? So we can type here our regex. So let's type simple regex, like any symbol followed by allo, right? And followed by again any symbol, and let's type case false, right? Because allo can be like uppercase, lowercase, and here we need to type our column that we want to modify. So мына жерге біз selection criteria, that we wrote selection criteria. Here we wrote our column, and here we can wrote our new value, m. Whenever we match these regex on the name column, we modify its gender to male, right? To m. Let's try to run this command, this file, and here we have modified CSV file, which means, for example, for James Olo, it uses m, right? Also, what we can do, we can run our test, right? So our test file, it's pretty easy. So we can just hit here, or we can if you see such exception, it means we are missing some module, right? What module we are missing? We are missing this module, and we should have installed it, but I already have prepared this requirements txt file which specifies all libraries that we need to install. So let's try to install all at once, right? Бәрін бірден орнатуға болатын осындай, бұның да пипқа да осындай файл қоюға болады екен, библиотекалардың, который бәрін бірден орнатуға болатын. Okay, let's try to install it, and it says that like this numpy is like this numpy has like wrong version, right? Because I think it's because of like Python, so requires Python 3.9, right? So we can just again remove its version, and we can just type again install, right? Okay, now everything is good. Let's try run our test again. What it does, it basically executes our code and gets answer, and here we have also our expected answer, like correct answer, right? Дұрыс вариант бар бізде, and it just compares between those. То есть екеуін есептеп, қаншалығын дұрыс таптық, қаншалығын дұрыс таппадық, соны есептеп шығарып береді. So its output basically says that we have issues with these roles, right? Gender actual was you, so сен маған you бердің, анықтауын деп айттың, хотя оны анықтауға болатын еді дейді, яғни female еді ол дейді, қыз ғой мынау, Тархан қызы, анықтауға болады. We have some columns that we cannot identify, right? То есть мысалы Рахметолла Асанәлі you анықтауында, то есть анықтай алмаймыз оны, өйткені қиын режекспен анықтау оны. Енді біз білеміз, что ол екен, но режекспен анықтау қиын. И ұлы болса анықтау оңай. Ұлы ВИЧ, Қайрат о ВИЧ, ұлы там тоже ывна қыз да, то есть қызы да. То есть осындай режекс жазу керек, который қыз ұл екенін біліп беретін. То есть мына жаққа ары қарай жазуларың керек та, то есть значит там допустим қыз болса там қызы деп ше. Енді ұлдан да басқа нелер болуы мүмкін, ВИЧ деген бағанада айтқандағыдай. Here we have also our score for task A, which is 43, right? So 43. And for task B, which is 0, because we didn't do anything. And for task C, which is 0 again. Okay? Okay. Now let's try to read task B. In task B, there is a large file, and it contains some names, right? Names, surnames, company names, like organization names, and the task is to find all such names. But it's really difficult task. It's called named entity recognition in NLP world, and basically it's difficult topic. Not difficult, but like normal topic, right? So we don't have all information how to properly solve this task for now, and we have only regex knowledge, right? So your task is to try to solve this task using only regex, and you cannot achieve 100 score here. So in the achieving just 40 score is enough here. То есть 40 алсаңдар 100 деп есептей беруге болады. Окей? Мен өзім 50-ге дейін жеткіздім режекспен. Но 40-тың өзі негізі былай жетеді. Окей? And in task C, so basically what you do, you can just, so don't change these parts. These are all written for you already. So but try to understand, right, how it's working. Try to understand. And you need to change just this part. Here is, you have a text and you need to write code that uses regex and finds some names from this text. Okay, and if you don't know how to like use in Python regex, you can just watch this. We can just follow this tutorial and read, understand, right? And here it has some such scripts. So which this script can fail because we have Python version 3.8. So in such case, you can just ignore this assertion. Okay, no problem. And you can view this tutorial and how to use regex in Python, right? То есть солай үйреніп алып, мына жерге получается сендерге regex жазу керек болады да, который бізге аттарды тауып беретін. And same for task C, but in this case you need to find emails and the phone numbers. То есть мына екі методты жазу керек болады, который email мен phone numberларды қайтарып беретін мынау тексттан. And after you have completed, again you can run tests locally. Да? So мына тестті локально запускать етуге болады. Or you can, what you can do commit, like git add all, git commit means m, git commit means m, specifying message I have shown, right, in previous lesson, like started task A деп атайсың. Осындай commit message бен. And after you can push it, right? You can push it. So yeah, I'm receiving this issue because I already have pushed it, so I can just type -f to discard already pushed changes, okay? And push it new, push it again, right? And after I have pushed it, I can see my changes from my repository, and like now, right now, and the important thing is that to make more commits. То есть істеп жатқан кезде commit жасай беріңдер да, то есть бір файл өзгертінде бір run successful жасадыңдар, commit жасап қойыңдар, там task A, допустим, бітті, commit жасап қойыңдар, ну или там 10 минут сайын commit жасап отырыңдар да, то есть минимум 10 минут или бірдеңе өзгерген кезде деген сияқты вообще. Ну там каждый енді өзгерген затқа емес, өзгертіп run жасап successful болса, сол кезде жасасаңдар болады commit. Но там 10 минуттан асып кетпесін деген сияқты. Чтобы мен көретіндей сендердің прогресстеріңді, басқа біреуден көшіріп алдым деп ойламайтындай. Окей? Бұл негізі основной requirement ассайменттардың, да, то есть ассайменттар commit болу керек, историясы болу керек commit-тің. And in here in actions, but like tab, you can see your like grade, right? But it's failed for some reason. Let's see why. Oh, okay, I got it. So basically, you need to here, you need to specify NumPy version here. So you need to specify NumPy version. So let's turns out like this when someone wrote this pandas library, they said that it requires NumPy version whenever NumPy version, but NumPy has upgraded its code and it broke like compatibility, right? So то есть мына NumPy version көтерген кезде compatibility сындырып тастаған ғой, вообще одан бұны қолданатын библиотеканың бәрі обновить ету керек болған да. И pandas, из-за того, что pandas бізде fixed версия, и ол NumPy-дың соңғы версиясын қолданбайды, сол үшін бұл жерде ошибка шығып жатыр да. Енді бұны жөндеудің бірнеше жолы бар. Біріншісі мынаны алып тастау. Бұдан алып тастасақ бізде қандай ошибка шықты? Бағана питонмен келмей қалды версиясы. То есть сондай ошибка келіп кетті. Енді бұл ошибка болмау үшін біз мынаны алып тастауымыз қалады да. То есть осылай шеше берсе болады негізі қарап. То есть давайте попробуем, да, то есть git commit -m fix pandas version. Ой, we haven't added it. Okay, git push. Okay. Okay, so if you're having troubles with push, just install SSH, as I said. Okay, just install SSH with GitHub, and there should be no problems. Okay, let's update it. Okay, this is all run. Let's view newest run. So it's already running. Okay, so let's try to run it locally again. So локально да сындап тұтамыз мүмкін да, то есть let's try to run this Python file. Okay, all good, right? То есть бәрі істеп тұр. Okay, when this run is finished, it again automatically creates your code. Basically, it launches this file actually, and it also does second job. Second job is to uploading your scores to this our leaderboard. То есть бізде leaderboard деген зат бар. То есть істеген адамдардың нелері осында көрініп тұрады да. То есть сол үшін обязательно push жасау керек. Okay. It will upload to leaderboard, and you can see here. I will send link your your performance. Right? So for example, for task A, I have like 43 points, but this is my previous attempt, which is like the best one that I could achieve, right? То есть андай поинтқа негізі жетуге болады. енді бұдан да көтеруге болады, но вот не стоит того. То есть пока просто вот түсіну үшін, что біз regex-пен бүкіл тасктарды істей алмайтынымызды, одан да жоғары бізге бірдеңе керек та, то есть оны істеу үшін. Окей, так, тағы не дейін дедім? Why I choose, то есть неге мен локально запускать еткенді сендерге рекомендовать етем. Өйткені бұда debug деген tool бар. We have here debug tool, so we can put something called breakpoint here, and we can launch it using debugger, right? We can debug it. Basically what it does, it can stop our code execution at this point, and we can see our current state here. So we can see our current state of our data frame. We can run some commands. For example, we can run this command to see what output it will generate, right? То есть басып бүйтіп көруге болады. So it basically generates list of true falses да, то есть бағана selection деп айттым ғой, selection criteria деп. Сөйтіп өздеріне керек кодтарын жасап, көріп, даже өзгертуге де болады. То есть мына жерде даже өзгертіп жіберуге де болады. Def-тең неме десеңдер, ол өзгеріп кетеді. It's very useful to debug issues. It's also өмірлерді жеңілдететін зат негізі. But it turns out it's very difficult to debug in, for example, Google Colab, in other things. You need to use in Google Colab, you need to use in like prints, right? Өзіміздің old way дейді, осылай қолдану керек болады, ол жақта істесеңдер ше. Мына жақта осылай дебагтың жолдары бар да. Бұл енді басқа да өте нелері көп, пайдалары. Мысалы, допустим, бір пайдасы мына кодтың ішіне кіріп кетіп, мына жаққа дебаг қойсаңдар да болады, ол істей береді, короче. Бұны енді еще де істей алмайсыңдар ше басқа. То есть локально істеген кезде ғана істеуге болады. Ну, может істейтін жерлер бар шығар енді. Локально осылай істеуге болады тоже. Кодтың ішіне кіріп кетіп дебаг қойса болады ше, брейкпойнттар. И кодтың ішіне кіріп өзгертсе де болады даже. Кейде менде кейстер болған, когда библиотека қолданып жатқан, ода ошибка болды да ішінде. И мен, получается, соны жөндеп, просто ран жасап көрдім деген сияқты, типа. Окей. Okay, if you have questions, you can write to Google, you can write to ChatGPT. If it doesn't help, you can write to our Telegram group. Okay.